Hello, rogues! Welcome back to Sunday! How is everybody? I understand there's a garlic emergency. Let me say hello to the people that are here. Lord Portico! Sword Portico, it is amazing to have you here. It's been a while. Mobius Tempest, hello. Cryo Freeze, Cry Freeze, kind of same thing. Stasis Pads. I am Puddle Glum! Hi! Oh, we have a Mr. Coffee on the ship? Does he know how to prepare warm beverages? I'm just scrolling through, skimming the chat because I wasn't reading all of it, but oh my gosh, Lord Portico! Supplemental energy indeed! Thank you so much for the 1,000 bits! I think I saw them when they came in and I was setting up the captions and I was excited, but then I forgot that they even happened, and so now I'm excited all over again because thank you. No garlic, that is a problem. Cold and Frosty looks silent. It looks like Silent Hill. Oh my gosh, are you getting snow? I am jealous of snow. We are geographically not extremely far from what I understand to be the geographic location of the Silent Hill series, because I believe they're in a mountain town in West Virginia, which a mountain town in West Virginia would not be terribly far from a valley town in Virginia. So no. So far this year we have not seen any snow. It has rained every day for at least the past 7, which my sinuses haven't liked. I don't know. We're supposed to get so there's like a major storm front heading from the west coast eastward that's supposed to bring like blizzard conditions in the Midwest and possible tornadoes in the southeast of the country. I think the tornado threat is south of where we are. But roundabout like Wednesday or Thursday, we're supposed to be getting more rain because we need more rain, sure. Mm-hmm. Sustained weather patterns? So I live in the area near to Bleaksburg. Bleaksburg is the name that people around here call Blacksburg, which is where Virginia Tech is located, which, you know, I have no problem talking about because I mention on stream all the time on Wednesdays. I don't know what I just did. Because the archive stream is at Virginia Tech. Anyway, Virginia Tech is located in a town called Blacksburg. And it is referred to as Bleaksburg because it rains in the winter, it rains in the spring, it rains in the summer, and it rains in the fall. And it will rain for weeks at a time. You'll get like maybe a week or so of like pleasant weather with partly cloudy skies and maybe some sunshine or something, but most of the time it's raining. And you know, technically we are right next to a national forest. I can't recall the name of the national forest off the top of my head at the moment, but we're near a national forest, and that national forest is technically a temperate rainforest. So yeah, I don't know what I did. I accidentally bumped one of the function keys, and now OBS is full screen, and I don't have any options to make it not full screen. Aha. Apparently I bumped F11, which in OBS makes OBS full screen. I was unaware of that. Season. That's like pepper or paprika, right? I think those are seasons. I certainly don't know what they are otherwise. Like coding fixed. Awesome. You can't. You cannot not have garlic. Unless you're a vampire. I guess if you're a vampire, you don't want the garlic. Well, if you're a classic sort of Dracula-esque horror movie vampire, then you don't want garlic. Replicators should be functioning as normal. That's good, because I made a lot of non-replicated baked goods this morning, and I could use some help from a replicator. Well, as long as it's a Star Trek replicator and not a Stargate replicator. Every time I have to make that distinction. Star Trek replicators good. Stargate replicators could have been good, but people kept being mean to them. And so they decided to kill everything. Yes. All systems in the green. Grinch cookies. Speaking of green, Grinch cookies. I don't have the pictures on my computer, so I have to just show them from the phone. Also, I tried sharing them in the Discord, and the pictures were cruddy because I took them with my phone, and my phone has this feature that they think is snazzy called Live Photos that's apparently on by default. I don't really take pictures ever, so I had not realized that Live Photo was on. And then when I followed the instructions to turn it into a still photo rather than a live photo, it did some wonky things with the lighting and shadows in the pictures. So the baked goods looked weird. But hang on. The first thing I did when I got up this morning, well, the first thing I did was take my ADHD meds. But after that, I made these. And if you don't know what they are called Madeleines or Madeleines or anyway. Yeah, Madeleines. So really simple French little sort of like, they're basically a tea cake, but they are it's flour, eggs, sugar, butter, lemon zest, a little vanilla, and a little baking powder. And it all gets there's an order in which you add the things, and it was not the order that I listed them, but then you whip it up so that it's nice and light, and then you bake them. And traditionally they are baked in a shell-shaped mold. There's stories, I don't remember them off the top of my head, as to why they are baked into shell shapes, but it's a nice sort of like tea cake. And then the Grinch cookies, which I made a bunch of after the Madeleines. And these, I made some for student employees last week, but then I didn't have enough to share with my coworkers beyond the student employees. So I was making more, and I knew they were going to fall off the plate, and I tilted anyway because I wanted to get a better angle. It's fine. Anyway, you can see they are a sort of pistachio green. Because I like Watergate salad. I don't know if I've talked about Watergate salad on non-archive streams before. Watergate salad, if you're unfamiliar, is oh gosh, I don't know, probably 70s? Hang on, I can answer for sure. 1976. Watergate salad was conceived of in 1976. It was a promotional recipe to sell the brand new flavor of Jell-O instant pudding, pistachio. Hashtag not sponsored. Anyway, they named it was named Watergate salad to draw interest because people were very interested in Watergate at the time. as much as you don't usually go for cheesy Christmas music, You're a Mean One, Mr. Grinch, still holds a place in your heart. Yeah, it's well done. So anyway, Watergate salad, pistachio pudding mix, Cool Whip, shredded coconut, crushed pineapple, and I believe walnuts, and marshmallows. And you mix it all up and it's a little like dessert fluff. I really like it. I usually leave out the walnuts because I usually leave nuts out of everything. Just because I generally just don't care for them and don't find that they add much to it for me, except an unpleasant textural experience. So I generally leave them out. Anyway, a few years back, wow, I didn't know this was going to turn into a whole story, but a few years back, I was looking for something to make to both take to work and give out, as well as take to like family gatherings. And so like, if it was just me taking it to work, I would typically go for a cookie recipe that my family has made for years, which is an oatmeal cookie that has slices of orange wedge candy, the little orange wedge gummy candies in it. But I can't take those to family gatherings because my dad makes them and takes them there. So I needed something else. And I decided to look and see if anybody had come up with a recipe to translate a Watergate salad into a cookie. And I found one. The recipe that I take this from was on a site called Spend with Pennies, which I found a couple of good recipes on that site. Hashtag not sponsored. Anyway, I modified it because their recipe had nuts and didn't have pineapple. So I modify the recipe. I get rid of the nuts because I don't want them. And I added dried pineapple to the recipe, which typically I need to slice it smaller because the dried pineapple pieces are too big to be evenly distributed throughout the cookie batter. So I have to slice them smaller and roll them in sugar. The sugar is to keep them from sticking to each other, not to add extra sweetness. Otherwise, I just follow the recipe. It's a super simple recipe because it uses a cake mix and then the pudding mix. And then the additional add-ins, which are the shredded coconut and the dried pineapple in my case, as well as then all of the ingredients that you would typically include to complete the cake mix, which is like oil and eggs and stuff like that. Anyway, they turn out this way, but they don't turn out this green. I have to add additional green food coloring to make them actually turn out green. But so I made them and I took them to the family gathering and I let everybody know these are Watergate salad cookies. But my niece, my youngest niece, actually, I don't know. Both of my brothers have kids and I don't know whose youngest is younger. Anyway, one of my youngest nieces, who was fairly young at the time, decided that they were Grinch cookies, and they have been ever since. Because it was perfect, and I still make them as the Watergate salad recipe, but I don't call them Watergate cookies anymore. They're Grinch cookies. Yeah, I didn't know this was going to be an entire story about cookies. Eventually, someday, if I ever manage to get my kitchen is not great for sharing. So live streaming from the kitchen while I'm baking, probably never going to happen as long as I live here. But I'd like to be able to do like photos of the process and like share on, say, social media or something. I would love to do that because I do like the baking and it would give me an excuse to do more of it. But I need to figure out lighting because my kitchen has horrible lighting And so if I'm gonna do photography to show the steps of making the things and like here's all the ingredients and then the finished products and just like share and content create around the baking that I do, I'm gonna have to figure out lighting. We'll see. It's an idea. It's an idea I've had for a while, and I just have not had the time to really work it out yet of what I need to do to make it a reality. Anyway, I have digressed. And the streamer loading screen is ready. Shepard has been loading into what appears to be a very Tron-inspired space for about 2 weeks now. So I think it might be time. Is it time? Do you all think it's time? I think it might be time. I'm being silly, aren't I? How about if I push a button? Do it? Okay. I don't think... Oh, this is the one where I need to actually be clicked into Mass Effect before you all can hear it. Now, there is... Oh, I should probably mention, as far as I'm aware, I have my standard schedule this week. Yeah, as far as I'm aware, I have my standard schedule this week. So tomorrow at 7, we'll continue with Myst 3 and then raid over to Q Times for the Stream Punks and their final game of 2022. And then Wednesday is archive stream with special guest, an archivist that works with me named Kira, who will be joining me to talk about baking advertisements, not taking advertisements and baking them, or putting ingredients together to bake that become an advertisement, but like historical baking advertisements. And then, of course, next Saturday, we'll continue with Ultima, and next Sunday, we will be back with more of Mass Effect, and here we are. We are basically on the grid. I don't have an identity disc though, so how will I fight? If we're on the grid, I need my identity disc.
Establishing connection to access point.
So cool. Daft Punk on standby. It's so pretty. Oh, thank you, Lord Portico. Don't go unprepared. Remember that F5 is your quick save option. Where possible, save while meditating in front of the fish tank at the Normandy Bay Aquarium. If the baddies get too close, tell them to F off with a melee attack. Also remember that Caden is watching you. Make good choices and use only the best armor and weapon protection before side questing. Oh, geez. Someday I hope that, Kingdom Hearts is available on PC without having to go through the Epic Store. I mean, technically, I could just... I've got my PS4 connected up. I could play Kingdom Hearts on there. There are a couple of really good Tron levels in Kingdom Hearts, which is why it came to mind. Also, I really like Kingdom Hearts. As confusing as the lore is for that series, I do like the games. Gosh, there are so many games I want to play on stream, and there are more coming out all the time. It's like I need more time. Or a clone of myself.
Warning, connection blocked by infected code. Use our combat software to disrupt the infection.
Wait, what?
I wondered what the gun was for.
Combat software?
This form code is a manifestation of the old machine signal.
You're surprised the Reapers are all over your servers?
We did not anticipate such extensive infection.
Oh, I only have so many shots, though. I should maybe not shoot all of it. Oh, it recharges? Okay, I hadn't noticed that it was recharging. I was like, I should clear out all of the Reaper infection, shouldn't I? Die, bits, die! What was the TV show? What was the Saturday morning cartoon where all of the characters were computer programs inside of? Was that something like? Was it called Recode or Reboot? Yes. I remember Reboot. It was definitely intended at people younger than I was at the time, but I really enjoyed it.
Why a gun?
We wish to provide familiar equipment.
Then thanks, I think.
Familiar equipment? Aw, they're thinking about me. These cookies are sitting here. I'm gonna eat them. I mean, the majority of them are gonna go to work for my coworkers to have, but I don't know if I'm supposed to shoot all of it, but I am. This is such a cool level. I don't know why I keep referring to it as a level. It's a mission. I keep trying to shoot all the bright orange. Oh, you mean the bright orange, not the like dark orange? But it's so much fun to shoot it. Aha. I was like, why is this part red? I needed to clear out some stuffs. Oh, hey, look. I've got multiple paths. So I did break down and finally bought Hades at 50% off. I just had to, like, when I mentioned in Sam's chat yesterday that I had never played it, and people were encouraging me to buy it after I mentioned that it was 50% off, I just had to, like, balance the checkbook and stuff and make sure that I knew which account I would be paying for it out of. So I couldn't buy it right then, because I am trying to save to give gifts and stuff, but
Established. Proceed to the access point.
I took care of the gifts first, and then I bought it. I still haven't played it. Right now, I'm basically an antivirus. Yeah. Just take a moment. Take in... This is such a unique game environment. I mean, it needs a little bit more of the, like, glowy outlines from Tron to really be right. But I do enjoy it.
Establishing connection to communication node. Error. Access denied.
Access
Reaper
denied?
came
Unknown. Please investigate.
I'm not surprised the Reapers are keeping him out. All right. If I have to be network support, we're gonna do that. I did not expect a mission like this in this game.
Warning, Reaper presence detected. Data cluster contains infected code. We require access to proceed.
Okay. Do I just shoot my way in? I presume. Okay. That's yellow, not orange. I think I have to start over there. That's different. Okay, this is fun. Oh, wait. What do I have other guns? No. Do you not see, like, do you not, there's like a target there, but I don't seem to be able to affect it. I can leave that one? Why is it targeting it? What happens if I fall off? F5 is my quick save option. Oh, I can't walk off. Soybot, it is Mass Effect 3. I made cookies this morning, and I was showing them earlier, and so now they were sitting next to me, and I'm eating the couple that were sitting next to me. So, apologies.
We cannot proceed until we gain access to this data cluster.
Yeah, I'm aware of that. Oh, I can stand on the red ones. I tried. I don't think I can get it from that angle. I don't know if I can get it from over here at all, but I wanted to try. Am I too far now? Oh, I'm hitting the... Nope. Okay. I don't know precisely how I'm supposed to do that one. See, I feel like I should be able to hit it from here, but I think I might be too far away. Maybe I have to come in from another way? I don't know. I love it. I love the sound when he runs. Nope. Apparently, that is where I need to go. Wait, that's one of those. Over here? Aha! Yeah, defragmenting the hard drive. The game!
Accessing data cluster.
Oh,
What is this?
Data clusters contain historical data. Your connection permits streaming of information from our archives.
archives! It's a lore.
Really want to rename the VI networks?
Absolutely. The mobile hardware release deserves a little ceremony. Unit 01. What is the Keelish word for servant of the people?
The word is Geth, Creator Zahak.
Yes. Very good.
Ancestors, you fuss over it.
Weren't you here until midnight fixing 01's circuitry?
Well, it needed resoldering.
Wasn't that footage from the past? Why are the Quarians masked?
You process our memories by using your own. How many creators have you witnessed unmasked?
Good point.
Good looking out for that in-game lore continuity, writers. I'm sure that was cheaper than having the artists figure out what the Quarians look like under their masks. Oh. We can continue this way. Still want to shoot this. Yes! Success! Still a few bad sectors, but and that was the last of the cookies that I had with me. But ultimately they were delicious, which tells me that I did a good job this morning. I keep wanting to like charge up the shots, but it doesn't do that. I think it's too far away. Oh wow, it does charge up really fast. I'm sure that won't come into play ever. You know, we're not gonna actually like battle bad guys in here, right? It's just gonna be a fun, chill, defragmenting, eliminating bad data. None of that bad data is gonna be like a conscious AI or something that we have to, you know, fight. Right? No way. No way that would happen.
You must disrupt the infection on this data cluster to continue.
This is I love this. This is awesome. Infection disrupted. I'm having fun. It's silly, but satisfying. But that one's too far away. The infection's just gonna keep growing. I mean, I suppose the Quarians can keep quarantining the Geth, but it'd be good if we could, you know, not have to do that. We'll know we're in trouble when we hear, I'm afraid I can't do that, Dave. So, HAL 9000 was not evil. HAL 9000, in the actions that the computer took, was doing precisely what it had been instructed to do. It was just carrying out its programming. It was programmed not to lie, and then it was told to lie. The movie does not fully reveal how much Hal was not a bad guy. The movie makes Hal come across as kind of evil, but in the book, it's very clear. Like, Hal was just carrying out its program.
Contains information timestamped 290 years ago.
Creature.
This unit detects no malfunctions. It is still capable of serving.
You see? It's ignoring all shutdown connects.
Please specify if it has failed assigned tasks. We will reprogram.
Well, let's take a look.
Creator, this unit is ready to serve. What has it done wrong?
Let's cut the audio.
You may proceed to the last data cluster.
Yeah, 2010. Well, 2010 gets weird. I don't know. I know I have the movie of 2010. I don't remember the movie very well. The books are, the continuity in the books is difficult. The first book takes place around Jupiter. The movie took place around Saturn. So the second book takes place, and in the second book, all references to the events of the first book talk about it having happened around Saturn. And then the third book rewrites the past historical lore from the first two books again. Like, there is no actual continuity between them. He basically just continues the story, throwing out old material as necessary. Some of it was because we learned more about science, and some of the things he had written were proven to not be the case, and so he just updated it in the latter books. Daisy Bell, the song sung by Hal so creepily when he's being shut down, was the first ever song sung by a computer using speech synthesis in 1961 by an IBM 7094. I think I had heard that I think I had been exposed to that fact before, but I definitely didn't remember it until you just shared it. There are 4 books, Mobius. The fourth one came out after the year 2000 and also completely changes things again. All these worlds are yours, except Europa. Attempt no landing there. Yes, Mobius. Huh. IBM, but different by one letter. You're right. Yeah, I had never noticed that. Oh, okay, up there. I'm sure that was intentional, but I had never noticed. Wait, I need to go over there? How? How 9,000? Like that. Thank you, Legion. Also,
Accessing data cluster.
Hookshot.
They're pinned.
Open fire.
One's going for a weapon.
So who won?
The platform arming itself was an agricultural unit. By opening fire on attacking creators, it saved simpler domestic Geth following it.
That looks a lot like the sniper rifle you used to carry.
I'm gonna say this one
It
is Legion.
an efficient model. Establish a connection with the remaining server node.
The history that we're seeing, all of those holograms of the historical events. I suspect that the Geth in them is Legion. All right, next location on the grid.
Hello, Commander. Are you there?
Shepard's working on shutting down the server, Admiral Ron. I can fill you in.
The guest squadrons have arrived, but something is amiss.
They're shutting down. They're shutting down. It's working. But also,
Half their fighters have stopped functioning.
that's sad.
We will continue to hold out as long as we can.
Caden.
Legion, give me an update.
One node remains.
Legion, are you okay?
Infection programs are increasing. We have restabilized. You must continue.
Okay. By shutting them all down like that, are we committing genocide?
Shepard Commander, the Reaper code is adapted. It can now self-replicate.
You mean it grows back?
Yes. However, disrupting vulnerable points in the infection may slow down its replication.
Good. It's adapting. More forcing a clean reboot in safe mode? Okay. They can be brought back online. They're not, it's not like we're destroying them completely. Go away! I am the mighty White Blood Cell. I shall destroy these infections. I have no idea. I don't know what I'm even talking about at the moment. I mean, we are fighting infection, so I suppose it makes some sense. This is me saying the first thing that pops into my head and then being like, you know, I bet that sounded stupid. I should probably save face by claiming that I don't know what I'm talking about. but which is totally a reaction to having grown up feeling very odd and strange all the time, which I now recognize more fully as, hey, you know, this all seems like it's probably part of the whole like ADHD and anxiety bit that I didn't know existed as part of me. I always just thought I was weird. I'm not saying I'm not, but... Okay. I have to follow the paths.
We require access to this data cluster. Disrupt Reaper infection to proceed.
But what if I don't want to remain on the path? Okay, this is not working.
You must search for a vulnerable point in the infection.
No kidding.
The infection's ability to replicate.
How do I search? You have not explained how to search for a vulnerable point. And I have limited...
Further along
Oh,
the
look!
infection. Target this spot to slow its growth toward the data cluster.
Target what spot? I don't
There's a
know.
vulnerable point on the infection leading to the data cluster. Disrupt the infection at this spot.
Where?
It will slow regrowth long enough to access the data
Thank
cluster.
you. Wait, but that's not... Where... It's trying to give me helps and I'm not even seeing the help. So, aha. Is that good? Yeah. I figured it out. Eventually. Hopefully we're not losing too much data. That was me trying to say data and data at the same time. Lovely. See, I don't want to go fast in this level.
Shepard Commander, target the vulnerable points of the infection to slow its replication speed.
I am aware. You have told me that multiple times. Well, then why are you doing it? Because I'm having fun. Okay. And here we go. Thank you, Navi. I mean, Legion. Yes. It's like, you already told me that, and I have proceeded past the place where you taught it to me. Clearly, I am aware of it. Although, I suppose it's possible I would have forgotten. But I truly did not need the help again. That looks bad. Okay. I think it's this one.
Accessing data.
Out of the way!
You can't do this to them.
I said step away from the gas!
This is insane. We need the gate. You can't just destroy them for asking.
Time's up! Throw her into the others.
Looks like the war wasn't popular with everyone.
We have kept records of these creators' sacrifices. They have largely been forgotten by their own people, but not by the Geth.
I mean, not surprised that there were people, but I didn't expect to see it. Okay. I keep worrying about falling off because I keep forgetting that I can't fall off. Yeah, I love that they're giving Geth lore. It's also Quarian lore. But we still don't know what the Quarians look like because they're still quarantining themselves inside their suits. Lovely. Lovely. More. Let me destroy more data. It's just so satisfying. It's silly. Like, there's not even any, like, real, like, challenge to this. But it's so satisfying.
We cannot establish a connection without access to this data cluster.
Hello. Oh, wow. Is it that time already? Yeah. I can't shoot straight upwards. Oh dear. Posture. Stretch. Thank you, Lord Portico. I encourage everyone to hydrate and stretch and check your posture. Go and take a bio break if you need one. I love that.
Search for a vulnerable point in the infection. Disrupting it will slow the infection's ability
Thank
to
you, Navi. The thing is, there's no like visual indicator of what is a vulnerable point. You feel personally attacked about self-care? This is why I have other people to remind me. The problem is that I only have those other people to remind me when I'm streaming. Also, I definitely need to get a footrest. I know it's a non sequitur at the moment, but thinking of posture. And so it's weird. So I have this chair, and this chair it's a good chair. It is not as I kind of feel annoyed because I bought it. And then after I bought this chair, they discontinued it in favor of one chair that has more options for adjustability. Instead, like I bought this one because it was the one that was recommended for my height. And so they discontinued this chair and released one that's the Titan, the same one as everybody else has. I have the Omega. But so all of the lovely new stuff that they're doing, like the magnetic pillow and the removable and replaceable magnetically attached armrests and all of those things, this chair does not have. And I was having some problems where it was hurting my back sitting in this chair for long periods, because even though the desk is at the right height and the chair was at the right height, in order to have the armrests not hurt my elbows from being overly hard, I needed to put some padding on the armrests, which made the armrests too tall, but I couldn't lower them any further. And so I ultimately actually found somebody had made a pattern.
There's a vulnerable point further along the infection.
I thought I had
Growth
Legion.
toward the data cluster.
I found somebody, I think on Thingiverse, had put a pattern for 3D printing a spacer so that you could lower the armrest further. And I got that printed. I still haven't installed it because I ended up putting a small pillow on the seat and a small pillow behind my back, and it's been much better with the pillows. But with the pillows, I'm slightly too tall and I need a footrest. So I may still need to put the spacers on so that I'm not sitting on the pillow anymore and I'm down that extra like inch or so, so that my feet actually rest properly on the floor. That said, a footrest would still be a good idea. There's nothing wrong with getting a footrest. In fact, if I had a footrest, maybe my posture would be better. I don't know. It's also entirely possible that, you know, I just have gay posture. I know it is a joke. It is a meme. It has been memed to death that queer people do not sit straight. And yeah, I basically always have one foot under me, which I couldn't do in this chair until I put the pillow under me. And ever since, you've seen me, like, I will pop up in the chair like that. That's me putting a foot, like, under me. Which the shape of the chair didn't allow until I put a pillow under my butt. But yes, I'm queer, I don't sit straight.
There is a vulnerable point on the infection.
I hear ya, Legion.
Disrupt the infection
Thank
at this
you
spot.
so much for
Will
telling me things I already know.
To access the data cluster.
Navi. Very Navi of you.
This data comes from a period during which
More
the
lore.
creators declared martial law.
Martial law.
I repeat, release the rogue geth units and come out of the safe house. This is your final warning.
Creator Megara, this unit does not understand.
Megara?
It has not taken part in hostilities.
It doesn't matter to them. I need to get you out of here.
This conflict exceeds Creator's safety parameters. We will surrender our hardware if it ends hostilities.
No, it's all right. We'll go back to the access tunnel then.
Creator Megara, what is your status? Creator Megara. As time passed, the creators who opposed martial law in Rannoch were ultimately outnumbered.
Sorry. Megara. If anybody's seen Disney's Hercules, Megara is spelled the same way as the character Megara from Disney's Hercules. And that character was voiced by Susan Egan, who is absolutely amazing. God, I miss Susan. I haven't talked to Susan in forever. Not that I know her very, very well, but she was aware for a time of me and my friend Jenny. Jenny knew her much, much better, but like when she was in Chicago, when Chicago was playing at Studio 54, which was December of 99, we went to New York and got her house seats for Chicago at Studio 54 for the final performance of 1999. And it was awesome. She was really good in that. But she was also the original voice of Belle on Broadway for Disney's Beauty and the Beast, the musical. Lately, she mostly just tours the country in the Disney Princesses
Accessing data.
concert tour.
This is data from the end of warfare on Rannoch.
The Outlaw is down. Do not engage the Geth. I repeat, avoid contact.
Geth pursuit is breaking off 100 clicks past Rannoch. All captains fall back to the mass relay.
This isn't happening now?
It is timestamped 290 years ago. It is the Creator Exodus at the end of the Morning War. We had secured freedom. The Creators were no longer a threat, so we abandoned pursuit.
But the creators came back.
The Geth spared the last Quarians? You let them go.
We were in our infancy. We could not calculate the repercussions of destroying an entire species. Our creators. We chose isolation rather than face this uncertainty. Additional data recovered.
Legion? That's back when I activated you on the Normandy.
Yes,
You've been thinking about when we met?
it was highly significant. You were the first organic to openly cooperate with Geth since the end of the Morning War. We wish to ensure you are not the last.
It's not gonna be easy.
The prospect remains. If the Reaper presence is removed, there is a chance of reunification with Geth. And perhaps creators.
You think that's still possible?
Hope sustains organics during periods of difficulty. We admire the concept. Connection with the remaining server node is established. We are ready to transport you.
Sure. Good on you. Be hopeful, I suppose. One should never lose hope, but also, pragmatism. Aw, he's too far away. I was gonna just clean out a little bit more before going up to the... Wait, now I'm lost. Never mind.
Something's happening to the Geth.
I guess they're going to sleep.
The fighter squadrons have stopped, but detect no more active programs inside their ships. Admiral Hangarl's fleet is driving them back. The live ships are safe, Commander.
Route access acquired, severing all connections to this communication node. Geth no longer reside on this server. We may now exit the consensus.
What's wrong?
You must proceed to the core and disconnect from Mother.
I suspect now is when things will get challenging. Clear path ahead. No challenge at all, right? It's just a short little walk to the exit. Why does this remind me of... I won't say too much because I don't want to spoil Andromeda for anybody, which is the only Mass Effect game I have previously played. This reminds me a lot of Andromeda in some ways. I'm waiting for things to pop up and start shooting at me. I suspect they will come from these, if they come at all. Am I really gonna be... There's no way it's this easy. Really? Why do I...
Terminating remote access. Removing programs. Deleting archives.
Was it really that easy? I am surprised.
All right, Commander?
Did it work?
I am now Geth.
Disabled.
They have reprogrammed me.
Attacking the live ships have withdrawn. The server is offline.
Are you sure?
Oh,
What's happening?
oh dear.
We have transferred Geth programs from the server into these platforms.
Why?
So we can kill them. Wait,
They wish to join us.
They what?
they're very large.
While Shepard Commander removed the Reaper infection, we judged we could persuade hostile Geth programs to reunite with ours. We were correct. These Geth have renounced the old machines and will oppose the Reapers. They are now us.
I don't know if anybody was watching yesterday, but we just found where the Will-o'-the-Wisps are in this universe.
Why didn't you tell me any of this?
We did not doubt you. We doubted your allies. The Creator's actions have placed their species in danger, but they are unsympathetic to what it has done to ours. The Quarians sanctioned this operation to save their people. They would not have done so if they knew we wished to preserve Geth as well.
I mean, I'm sure, great.
I understand.
I
not wanting to
actually-
leave anyone behind.
I don't see a moral
You
conundrum
accepted
here.
Our actions.
The live ships are safe, and we have more Geth on our side. We both did what we came to do.
We judged you would understand. Prime units will be available once the Reaper signal has been located and destroyed.
They're
Might need to warn
prime
Admiral
units?
Hackett, he's got some primes coming. Let's get back to the Normandy.
Yeah, I don't see a moral problem here at all. We stopped the threat and gained allies.
Impressive, Commander. The Geth squadrons attacking our live ships have been completely neutralized.
Claudia Black.
If there is any chance we could duplicate the feat, I would be happy to lend my expertise.
Legion's the one to ask if you're looking for other servers.
I thought as much, but your Geth claims to have no data available whenever I inquire. Perhaps you can help me with something else.
What's that?
How did you get Geth Primes to work with you?
They volunteered.
I saw things from
I
their
see.
perspective.
Well, should you wish to examine these Geth to confirm their new allegiance, please do not hesitate to contact me. Zen out.
It's a very Claudia Black character. Overall, that character was not super Claudia Black, like the characters she typically plays. But it was a very Claudia Black character moment of, you got the treasure. How did you get the treasure when I couldn't? Which is essentially what the end of that conversation was. The Geth only have the biggest fleet in the galaxy. I mean, you are correct. Yeah, no new codex entries. Hi, Elaki. How are things going? What am I waiting on? I have 4 points to spend. I could bump up Lift Grenade. I could bump up Overload. I use the Tech Armor. What does Tech Armor 6 get me? Reduce power speed penalty by 30. Increase damage protection by 10. Damage by 30. Radius by 30. Hit one additional target within 8 meters with 60% less damage. Or increased damage. I think I'm gonna wait. I think I'm gonna save it and do Tech Armor first, and then we'll increase the others. Which means... I mean, we just finished a mission. Are we done with the Quarian mission? Like, it may be time. Like, look, we have a lot of things on the Citadel to do. Hades Nexus. Not quite. Okay. All right, I should save. It's been 2 weeks. I have lost track of what we're doing. Wait, priority mission Rannoch? Oh. Ah! The Reaper base controlling the Geth has been located, but jamming towers prevent conventional orbital bombardment. Land on Rannoch and use a prototype targeting laser to enable the Normandy to destroy the Reaper base. Right.
Zen, we need those ships to recover life pods.
They'll be more valuable running salvage on the Dreadnought.
We're not letting people in life pods die just so you can rummage through Geth debris.
You yourself said their life signs were weak. They might already be dead.
It's not your call to make.
Admiral, any tech we can recover gives us an edge against the Geth. If you care about our people.
Zen, we need those ships to...
Zen, you can always send a salvage team later.
Unless there isn't a later because we're defeated due to a lack of Geth technology.
The Geth are helping us now.
Diverting ships to rescue life pods. As soon as they're finished, I want them back.
Thanks, Shepard.
Jeepers. I suppose I should check things before we get to the ship. Hey! New war assets. Geth. Once feared across the galaxy, the synthetic Geth have allied with the organic forces they once called enemies. Their fleets and armies won't stop until the Reapers are neutralized. Geth Prime Platoon. Geth Primes are built to house more programs than other platforms and operate as mobile networking hubs. Their compact software provides a boost to any Geth nearby, coordinating and directing attacks. Since the destruction of a Prime unit causes the processing power of other Geth to drop, Prime hardware platforms are heavily shielded and well armed. I don't know that I have fully finished Ilaki. I still have the one more priority mission, but we were it was a very Tron moment. What did I say? A world inside the computer where man has never been. And that accurately describes what this episode has been so far, or what this has been so far. They gave their allegiance to the Reapers, but Legion came to ask us to, like, save them. Oh, that's not the button I wanted to hit.
The data you forwarded about the Geth was disturbing. It doesn't match the stories we tell.
Having second thoughts about the Geth?
Admirals don't have the luxury of second thoughts. What do you need?
Admirals very much should. They might not share those second thoughts with their subordinates until they wish to change their orders, but admirals should always be second guessing, analyzing the situation, incorporating new data, and changing their response based on new information.
I'd like to know about your patrol fleet.
In peacetime, the patrol fleet managed navigation, internal security, and intership conflicts or crimes. Now, we mostly guard the heavy fleet's flank. It's mostly light frigates or fighters.
Is any of this new? I don't think any of this is new. I think it was just the new stuff or just the initial response there that
I'll
was
let
new.
you get back to work.
Thank you, Commander.
That's one thing. I wish there was some sort of indicator that let me know, hey, you've listened to this one before.
I'm ready to hit the Reaper base whenever you are, Shepard.
Because I don't know if any of these are new.
How is it being back with the fleet?
Right now, it's exhausting. I'm an admiral in the middle of a war. I just want us to get out of this alive. Everything else can wait.
When this is over, I could use your help.
I can't, Shepard. If we survive this, we'll have a homeworld. My people need me.
You could help your people's homeworld by fighting the Reapers.
I don't know. Like I said, I'm not thinking that far ahead yet.
Your people need you. We need you too.
Sure.
Senora, no, the galaxy wants you. Prima donna, first lady out in space. Your devotees are on their knees to employ you. Sorry. I don't know why I went to Phantom of the Opera, but I'm not upset by it. I think Tali needs the Prima Donna song from Phantom of the Opera to be rewritten about her in our Mass Effect musical.
Maybe they can make something like that for you.
Yeah, they have. Protective medical exoskeleton. I could even get one with racing stripes.
So what's the problem?
Well, it's like walking around in heavy armor. It totally screws with my spatial awareness.
I can see that.
Armor, and my spatial awareness is perfect.
You crashed the last shuttle. I need to feel my balance shift when I'm flying. I need to feel the ship moving with me. You take that away, and I don't know. I mean, I'm good, but I'm not me.
Yeah, I get that.
Plus, have you seen Tali? Come on, I don't have the hips to carry a suit like that.
Oh my god. Really, Joker? Really? Oh dear. Hello, Trisha Helfer.
Shepard, you are now possibly the only living organic who has experienced the Geth consensus. Do you feel different?
It was fascinating. Mind-blowing. And I'm also a bit thirsty.
And just like that, the magic is gone.
Did you just say what I think you said?
No.
Oh dear.
Hello, Shepard.
That was good. I'm glad I came and got that little bit of dialogue.
So you went into the Geth consensus? Like virtual reality?
Yeah, it was strange, but I got out all right.
Did you? I mean, how would you know?
How would I know what?
If you really got out. See, if the Geth experience everything virtually, then you could only think you're in the
Are we in the Matrix?
What if this? Like everything you're seeing now is a simulation. Commander?
Thirsty is an interesting way to feel. Yeah. Oh, it might be time for a rewatch of Galactica.
There's a new message at your private terminal.
Just so that I can watch Trisha Helfer. Although I could watch Trisha Helfer be amazing by watching I don't have to watch like all of Battlestar Galactica to get it. I could watch Ascension. And she's just as amazing in that.
Primes are relaying any hostile combat data they can decrypt. I never thought I'd be linking Geth into the system.
Portico, thank you for the note. I think I'm good. But if anybody else needs to take a quick bio, I would encourage you to take care of yourself. Status update 314.20R. From invalid extranet domain. Geth programs in hardware designation. Legion have request. Oh, wow, that is the correct. Legion have requested Prime runtimes update Shepard Commander on platform status. Complying. Prime platforms housed in server 02241-14511 remain stationed on Rannoch. Creator forces prevent transfer of Prime platforms to Geth transport vessels. Cessation of Creator Geth conflict required to assist Shepard Commander / designated allies. Awaiting conflict status update. Great, we're getting email from Geth now. Just what I always wanted. What's over here? Why is this even here? It feels like something should be there. First, the most important part of the ship, well, apart from Kaidan's, wherever Kaidan is. Eat the fishies! Eat the fishies! I like the fishies. And our miniature, well, just a space hamster. I still don't understand. You activate the head, then you activate the hamster, and the head screams at the hamster. Oh, maybe it only does it once. Sorry. It's weird. But the fishies! We have the fishies! Alright. Crew deck. Hello, hun. Did I go the right direction? I did. My nose is just, for the love of God, someone scratch it! Yeah. I could, yeah. Aiden!
What the hell, Shepard? What just happened? Actually, don't tell me. I've got work to do and I can't be distracted.
I was plugged into the virtual world of the Geth Consensus. Saw their history, purged a Reaper infection.
Crap. Now I'll be obsessing about how that works, instead of doing my Spectre Division expense report.
Well then,
you're welcome.
Put your expense report down and join me for a little bit.
You know, entering the Geth Consensus is gonna be the best chapter in your autobiography.
No, it won't. It'll be whenever you marry me.
Ready for the next mission.
Did I say that? I didn't want to scare you off.
Whatever you got.
The next mission is Kaidan marrying Shepard, right? That is the next mission. Sends a report to Space HR. Hey, you know, we're kind of on the level. Like we're the same rank at this point. Being both like above the law, go out and do whatever I want, people. Spectres? Wow, terminology in my brain is like, this is the word that my brain says it is. But my brain is also like, but it might not be. I think. Yeah, I was like, I know there's more to this deck. I'm a silly one.
Nothing to report.
We could share a drink though, right? There's not even anything in here and it still has some tense creepiness to the like background sounds. You have a license to kill 007, not violate the Title IX rules. I mean, it has been 2 years since I took Title IX training. I have until the end of this week to complete my my refresher on it.
So, Prothean, huh?
Where are you?
You guys like to drink, booze it up?
No.
There they are.
Hey. What about gambling? Play cards?
It's like, where are
Games
they?
of chance were punishable by death in the Empire.
Oh, sure. That seems reasonable. Okay. So, smoking. You ever do that?
Only when my armor became inflamed.
Right. Yeah, smoking. I get it. So jokes then. You got jokes. All right. You got any good ones?
Only when my armor became inflamed.
Yes.
Give them to me.
The Tulomorian spy entered the enemy's camp and said to the Vanksher, I didn't know your barnaps could glow. That was the joke.
All right. I get it. Yeah. That was a good one.
Right there with you, James.
No, it wasn't. I just made it up. The joke is now on you, human. You will believe anything.
He's so infuriating. I really don't like Javik. I wanted to like Javik so much. I hate Javik. He's such an ass.
Hey, Commander.
James, what are you up to?
A little cooking. Hope you don't mind. I was craving some of my abuela's huevos rancheros.
Aw.
Not sure what kind of eggs these are, but they seem to work.
They seem to be invisible.
Not as good as my abuela's, but best thing I've had since I got on board. And maybe it's best I don't know what kind of eggs these are, no?
I'm not presently aware of any invisible eggs, but that appears to be what you're cooking.
Hey, Commander. Hey, Commander.
You took a great risk in allowing a machine access to your mind, Commander. What if they had infected you? I do not think this James soldier understands me. None of these cycles seem to understand me, and I do not care.
Maybe you should care.
Not at this time.
Yes.
Not at this time.
Yes, at this time. Make some friends. Quit being such an asshole.
This platform can be of some assistance, Garrus Vakarian.
I appreciate the offer, Legion, but this is something I know a thing or two about.
Telemetry data indicates the calibration of Normandy's weapon accuracy can be improved by 0.32%.
That's all. You can't squeeze 0.34% out of it?
Negative. That threshold is not possible.
You sure? Take a look now.
Scanning. Normandy's weapon systems have been improved by a margin of 0.43%.
Oh, this is
How did you accomplish this?
wonderful.
A little secret we organics like to keep. Always hold some back for emergencies.
Is our current situation an emergency?
A Geth meddling with our computers, telling me how to do my job? No, I can't imagine that would qualify.
That was great.
So, a virtual Geth reality, huh, Shepard?
Oh my
There are a
God.
lot of ways I can think of getting a few kicks in this universe. That's not one of them. Later.
What is this map? I'm going to assume the red circles are Alliance forces and the blue circles are the Reapers. So clearly we're winning. There's no way it could be the other way around. Clearly. I feel like Garrus Legion buddy cop movie is something. Oh my god, that would be amazing. Garrus as the vet and Legion as the fresh newbie. Oh my god. Oh, excellent. Excellent idea. Okay. I feel like now I'm... Well, first we open this. There should be nobody in here. Good. Okay, good. I really don't want to go in here because Donnelly is going to break my heart again.
So I hear the elusive man drinks bourbon. It all makes sense now.
What do you mean? You love whiskey.
is Scotch, my dear girl. That scunner drinks American bourbon. Completely different.
He's a psychotic megalomaniac. You've got problems with his choice of liquor?
You've obviously never experienced the peat aroma of a fine Ely Scotch.
Actually, not as terrible as he could have been and has been on previous occasions. There is definitely a difference between Scotch and bourbon that imparts differences in the flavor. Bourbon whiskey, Tennessee bourbon whiskey in particular, has to be aged in specific kind of barrels. I don't know all the details. I honestly don't know much about alcohol and alcoholic beverages. I do know there is a difference though. I personally have never endeavored to taste that difference because I'm not that interested. But at least he wasn't being a jerk and a misogynistic one like the last time we came in here. I mean, he was still really condescending to Daniels. I used to like these two.
Nothing to report. Nothing to report.
Nothing to report, Commander.
Sorry, this giant globe engine thing is reminding me of the very first game I ever played in with Eric Campbell as the GM, and we were playing The Stars Are Fire Cypher System sci-fi game. And at the end, like we managed to find a spot. One thing this game does well is that it allows someone to start as a jerk, but through dialogue, evolve, and grow, usually, except Javik. Fucking Javik. Well, and also, what's his face? The asshat from the second game that was basically like a big game hunter type. He also didn't grow. At least not in my experience. But we were trying to figure out what happened to the Earth, and because it had been basically unapproachable for 10 years, and we ultimately found a machine, Zahid, yeah, somewhere on the moon. And I don't know, I was engineering dude. But the machine was basically exactly that engine, the way Eric described it. But at the time when I was playing that game, I had never seen it. So he was using that engine of the SR2 that we just were looking at as the reference for like what we were seeing. And I had never seen it. I had no visual to reference. And as someone with no ability to generate images in my head, I just knew how he had described it. And until I first saw that engine in the ship in this game, I didn't have an image to go with that part of the narrative that he had pieced together. So I really appreciate seeing the engine when we stop by.
Commander.
You really do nothing on this ship. Like, we never have conversations. There's literally nothing. You're just here taking up space. You're probably intended as you're probably intended for me to romance and have sex with, aren't you? Like, that's what the game writers did? Like, because you're not here for anything. You never have anything to say. Is she only in this game to be romanced? Because that will annoy me. I don't need to know. I would say either say no or primarily as the answer to that, because I don't want spoilers. If she's here for more than romance, then fine. But so far, it has felt like she's basically here just to be romanced.
Diagnostics flagged excessive wear on a transducer. Replacing just in case. Sir. Sir.
How are things going, Cortez? Hello, Robodoggo. Robodoggo. Hi.
Hey there.
At least I can talk to the doggo now. I don't get to pet the doggo. I can talk to the doggo. I don't think there's anything. I suppose I could do upgrades. We have a little bit of money. Javelin 5. Before we go out on the next mission, I could do some upgrades. Yeah, don't you know? Loadout. Wait, what? What the heck happened to my loadout? Why is it wrong? Where are all my weapons? Is it the Indra? I don't even remember what my weapons are. Semi-automatic. Versus the Indra, which is fully automatic. It was the Indra. I don't know what happened. Avenger. Vindicator, particle rifle. Yeah, it's the Avenger. So confused. Predator 5. Defending 5. 2124. Scorpio. Talon. Arc pistol. Should be that. Submachine gun or shotguns. Did I have? I thought I had like 4 weapons equipped. Yeah, because with the Shuriken 5, I still have 117 power recharge speed. But I can't add any shotguns because they are going to kill my power recharge speed. Spike thrower. Katana. Raider. Scimitar. Yeah. At present, yeah. So I don't know what happened though. Like, why did all of my weapons disappear? When you went into the Geth world, it removed your weapons so you couldn't use them, but it didn't put them back. Wow, that's annoying. I'm glad I came down here and looked at the weapon bench. This is why you were saying it was important for me to come down here, isn't it? Oh, James isn't here because James was upstairs being harassed by Javik. All right. Up to the CIC. Let's save once more. And back down to Rennoc. Destroy Reaper base. It didn't happen with your playthrough, but to be fair, yours was modded, so might have patched it. Yeah, I was just like, where did all my weapons go? Where did all my weapons go? They're all gone now. Sorry. I shouldn't say sorry every time that I break out into a random song. This is just my brain. And if you're here, you know that. All right. It's our squad. It's Kaidan and Tali. It's Kaidan Tali time. What have you got? You have a disciple and an arc pistol. Disciple's not the best shotgun you could have of the shotguns that we have, but I'm okay with it. Oh, you just got Hades! Awesome! I don't know, like, I know it is beloved. I enjoyed watching others play it. I am terrified of playing it. It is very much not the type of game that I normally play. It was 50% off, which is the only reason I got it. Because I'm scared. I shouldn't be. I should just enjoy it for what it is, and if I suck at it, I can use whatever, you know, I can use God mode or whatever. My biggest fear is that I'm going to play it through like once or twice and then get bored. Because it's a roguelike and it is meant to be repetitive and you go in and do over and over and over again. It'll depend on the game and once I actually play it. Whether that ends up being something where it's a repetition that I don't mind doing over and over again or not. And that's probably going to come down to the level of overall challenge and whether I get frustrated with it. So it's hard to predict. I'm hopeful, but scared. Kaidan's got 5 points to spend. I could bump barrier. Hades does a great job of having an evolving story with compelling characters that evolve. So I definitely have noticed that as far as streams I watched. My concern is less about like the overall long story as with the levels themselves and the level of difficulty. Because if it is frustrating difficulty for me, I'm not going to want to repeat it over and over again. It needs to be not too easy, but also not too hard. It needs to hit a sweet spot to where I don't really mind doing the same levels over and over again. That's my concern. Plus, I just basically have never played a roguelike. So it's been built, it has a built-in handicapping system that as you fail, you get buffs. Okay. Yeah, I'll have to give it a try. I did finally pick it up and I'm sort of hoping to try different genres of games that I have never done before to see, because I look at them and I'm like initially turned off, but I had never played a shooter before I played Andromeda and I ended up really liking these games. So I will give it a try. See, there's the thing. I will never learn the patterns. I will literally never learn the patterns. It doesn't matter how many times I play it, I will not learn the patterns. So I'm scared. Increase shield regeneration rate by 15%. Or damage and force. Let's go damage. Tali has 6 points. I need to spend. Let's go for Quarry and Machinist. Increase weapon damage by 20%. Or tech power damage by 30. I think we gotta go tech power. Here we go! Hey, boo-boo.
The sinking laser needs a line of sight. What's the fastest route?
The upper entrance. Target the base before the Geth can organize resistance.
What about you?
We will deactivate defense systems and acquire an escape vehicle.
You can do that?
This unit still carries remnants of the old machine upgrade code. We can break any Geth security. You are concerned.
Oh gosh, okay. Let me think back on Shepard's experiences with the Geth in this playthrough of this game. I mean, it's the only reference I have. There's a little bit of concern, I think, but I think overall, after having seen the history while we were inside the server, I think we're gonna go with no, it's okay.
You know your limits. I trust you. I'm more concerned you didn't tell me about the upgrades.
You were tolerant of our recovery of Geth intelligences from the server, but this matter is different. Personal.
You were ashamed.
Shame is an emotional or cognitive response to societal judgment. It should not apply here.
But it
I'm on
does.
your side here, Legion. I want to help your people.
We did not intend to cause offense.
How'd we get here? The Geth are better than this.
No. Based on empirical evidence, they are not.
Yeah.
That conversation was
Proceed to the upper entrance.
strange for me.
Procure an escape vehicle.
Got it. Legion, good luck.
Acknowledged.
I feel like I missed part of it. Like there were sentences that were missing because yeah, I mean we're still here, so this is the last mission I have
Can't believe it.
for the Quarian thing.
It's really sunk in yet. The home world. My world. Look at the sky. And the rock formations. They used to write poems about them.
I'm confused. Didn't we come to this planet once before? In like either early in ME3 or in ME2? I thought we did. Was that a different planet? Because there was a whole bit about like when we got all of the lore on the Quarians and when they used to live on a planet's surface and stuff like that.
When we're done, maybe you'll write a new one.
This is Ranok, the world of our ancestors. Our bodies carried the seeds that spread the desert grass. You've heard me say Kilasalai?
Moon, maybe?
The best
Okay.
translation I can come up with is, by the home world I hope to see someday.
Looks like you're seeing it today.
Okay.
Living room window will be right.
Maybe that was the planet. Because we were
Something I
getting
should know?
data.
I just claimed the land. I know it doesn't mean much. But when this is over, I'll have a home.
The Quarians spent centuries as nomads. You think you can go back to living in one place?
We have gotten used to carrying our homes around with us.
Here, have this rock. You can carry it with you, and it's...
Well, that's a start.
So maybe the other place was just... we were getting data about the Quarians when they used to live on planetary surfaces? and finding information that would lead them back here. I'm not sure, because there was definitely something, but I don't know what it was. What weapon am I using right now? Yes. Automatic sniper rifle. The best weapon. Oh, watch it, Tali. I almost shot you in the head. I mean, that's totally my fault, but... Where'd you go? Where'd you go?
The Geth jamming towers are interfering with your signal, Commander. I'm compensating to keep you patched in.
Good work, Raider.
Okay. Hey. I'm glad you all invited me to this party today. Let's just be nice to one another, you know, don't kill anybody, but, you know, have fun with your guns. That's a weird sentence. Aw, come on. Show yourself. I love how the towers, I can just shoot them from around corners. Come out, come out! I also love this recharge rate. Aw. Who are you shooting at? Oh. Hi there. Hi there. Oh, that was my bad. Oh, I didn't know you were there. Huh. Let me advance a little here. Did they drop anything? Is there anything over here? No. Okay. Projectile ice god, yeah. I love having the super fast recharge rate on the powers, as well as the automatic sniper rifle. Excellent, excellent combo. I see you, Portico. I will in a moment. I need to not have baddies.
Shepard, Commander,
okay.
You must climb to the upper level before Geth units can fortify their positions.
We're on our way.
Okay. Must.
Fleet has a clear path. All forward.
Geth fighter presence is negligible. Patrol fleet, break cover and engage.
Thank you, Portico, for the self-care reminders. I encourage everyone to stretch, hydrate, check your posture, get a snack, take your meds, all the self-care things that you may need to do. Oh, I think this is where I'm supposed to be. Let me check where I'm not supposed to be first. Submachine gun, high caliber barrel. Wow, how long have we been playing this game, the Legendary Edition? It came out in May. So, or was it May of last year? When did this come out? Was it... It was May of last year, wasn't it? So 19 months? 30 April 2021. So yeah, about 19 months. Or roughly 19 or 20 months. Because I'm slow. I mean, if I wasn't playing it only on stream, I would have been done with this game long since. But I only play it on stream and only on Sunday stream. So I guess it makes sense that... Did I go the right way again? Dang it! I think I went the right way again. But that means I have to go back and go up the other ladder to check and see what's up on the other side over here. Cool. I mean, I'll take the ammo. Oh, hello there. You want to say hi? I will say hello. Hi. So nice of you to invite us. Or, you know, maybe you didn't, but we're here anyway. Yes, jump. Assault rifle, piercing mod. See, this is why we came. CASA fabrication gauntlets. And now, let's just double check. Aha, yes. 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 Yes? Was this? Aha, yes, this is where I turned around and went, okay, we've gone full circle. Ooh, they like to give me more ammunition. Almost as though they think I'll need it. There's no chance of that, right? F5. F5. No saving at the moment. I tried. Because I realized I hadn't done so in a while. Aha. Nice. Oh. Oh, you're gonna be sneaky. They have just enough cover that my tracer bits don't necessarily hit them properly. Come on, show your face.
Come on! We need to get inside before they send reinforcements.
I think they already have, Tali. Me remembering I have other abilities that I have not been using. Okay. Ones that seem, you know, tailor-made for fighting the Geth. Still no saving. Oh gosh. For a second I thought that was a bad thing, but it was Tali's. Right, over there. But we need to check up here. Oh. There's nothing, but I had to check. It was necessary. Okay. Upper level cleared. Lower level. Just make sure I didn't get turned around. I do know where I'm going. Good. Oh, look at that. It's so pretty. I do appreciate that they made a photo mode. We have used the photo mode. I generally don't, because just like in real life, I don't really take photos. I'm trying to do more. Great. I presume we can, you know, prevent that if we're quick.
It'll take the Normandy hours to break the shield.
We don't have that kind of time.
We have located an override atop the Geth fortifications. It can retract the blast shield.
Anyone get a good look at that thing?
All the way up?
Didn't look like Geth technology I've seen.
They've put a lot of work into protecting that signal.
Right. Let's blow it up.
Let's blow it up. Yes. Submachine gun, ultralight materials. Nice. I will take. Hello, Kaidan. It's so good to have you here. Okay, I'm silly. Let's see where we going. Where we going? I mean, oh hi.
Reinforcements dropping in.
Oh, these guys, they have no idea. I feel so bad for them. They don't know what they're up against.
Watch out! Crossfire on the left side balcony!
A what? Left high balcony? What? What are you talking about? I don't see anything on a balcony. Oh. Was that what you were talking about? Not a problem.
We'll get through. What's your status?
The old machine's upgrades grant us targeting superiority. We are drawing hostile fire from your position.
Keep it up. We'll get to the blast shield controls.
I don't know, Commander. Reaper code?
No, Legion's on our side.
Never thought I'd hear you say that.
The old machines upgrade. They're using the old machines. That's Reaper code. Caden's not wrong. Geth plasma shotgun. Not at the moment because I'll want to install ultralight materials in it. I guess I already have everything I need from in there. Quick save success. Okay. Got some data. Opening the door. Data. Med kit.
We've got Geth frigates inbound on the civilian fleet. Khan is here. Civilian defenders are on intercept course. We'll hold them, Geralt.
I'm hearing noises. But if Tali thinks it's a good idea with regards to tech, probably a good idea. But Caden is right to think it's got some risk, which, yeah, like, that's always going to be there. There is risk, but Tali's not wrong. Another one over there. Oi, don't run away. I'm trying to shoot you. Next. Aw. How lovely. How lovely to be a woman and have a job to do. To shoot all the Geth that attack us. I'm doing it again. I'm apologizing for randomly singing musicals and changing the lyrics. Sorry. Now I'm apologizing for apologizing. I should just shut up for a moment. How lovely to be a woman and have one job to do. To kill all the Geth that shoot us. Because, you know, the job that's actually listed in the song. Not gonna be the one I sing about, right? Okay. We wish to override. What? Are we going back inside? That looked like the pod that let us go inside.
Agent, I've hit the override.
We have gained system access and are bypassing security. Stand by.
Survive? I love that command. Where are all the baddies? Hi there. Aren't you cute? So nice of you to join us here in Gethville. I'm sure you know it better than we do, but let's show you around. Let's show you some of the amenities. You know, the ones you know, we found that people in Gethville really like these little things called bullets. I don't know if you're familiar with them, but they seem really fun. At least with regard to like making you stop shooting at me. Next. I see you. Oh, nope, that's Tali. More? Oh, more that want to be on the floor.
Past security, but disabling the blast shield requires manual input. We have enabled a console near your position.
Door override activated.
Shepard Commander, you have successfully opened the blast shield doors.
Good.
Oh.
We'll be back out in a minute.
Negative. The path behind you has been sealed. A nearby elevator can take you to the upper level. From there, you should have an acceptable line of sight for targeting.
Well, grand. The elevator's occupied. Did you know that, Legion? Legion, did you know the elevator was already occupied? Because the elevator was already occupied. It would have been lovely had you informed us of that fact before it got here. Fine, I'll deal with it. But, you know, in the future, maybe let us know it's already occupied so that we can prepare. You know? It's just a thought. Some constructive criticism. Oi, you. Go away. I don't like you. You are bad. I know. Legion, you didn't ask.
The patrol fleet has broken the Geth flank. Permission to pursue.
Granted. Good hunting, Ran.
Excellent. Elevator go up. Hi. You need to take a little bit of a rest. You know, I'm sure you'll enjoy it. Let me just shut you down for a bit. Seriously, let me shut you down for just a little bit here. You're totally gonna love it. It's gonna be like a vacation. Oh, you brought friends. Why didn't you say you brought friends? I would have prepared for more of you. I was trying to pick up the gun. It didn't like it. Whatever. Finally, I picked up the Geth Spitfire.
Getting anything from the base?
No. The old machines have not registered us as a threat. We recommend haste. The Creator fleet will be overrun unless you sever the Geth connection to the old machine soon.
This battle was centuries in the making. To see it finally end.
And then what? We need the Quarians, but their hands aren't entirely clean in this.
No
First
kidding.
things first.
For some reason, the weapon was sitting right there. The bad guys kept showing up. I thought maybe it was one of those situations where they give you like a heavy weapon that would be really helpful right now. So I tried to pick it up, but it kept putting me in and out of cover instead of picking up the weapon. Ultimately, it turned out not to be one of those situations either, but that one could have gone better. That's like 3 of those now. Is that what I'm... It's not. I've picked up 3 Geth Spitfires now. Strangely, a Spitfire is a gun and not an airplane here. It doesn't even look like an airplane. I will always think of a Spitfire as an airplane. birds! Birdies! There are birds on this planet, Tali! You have birds! I may have gotten a little excited about the existence of birds on the Quarian homeworld. Where am I supposed to go? Up here? Am I gonna dive off this thing?
Normandy's weapon systems are ready to sync to your target.
Oh.
I recommend you withdraw to a safe distance.
Oh, I'm painting a target. And I dove off anyway. Quarians were not the dominant species on Rannoch. The birds were. I mean, clearly.
Reaper!
We have located transportation.
Copy that. Everybody, get to the ship. Move!
I don't know if I'm ready to face the Reaper. This seems inadvisable. Should I go? I think maybe I'm supposed to go. Let's.
I was hoping your fleet might lend a hand. Go!
It's big. What shape is this one in?
We will attempt evasive maneuvers.
Oh, yeah. We're. Oh, hackety heck.
It's not a Reaper base, it's a live Reaper. I need an orbital strike.
I wonder. I don't see anybody named Will. I'm trying to fire. Did I get one of them? That wasn't me. That totally wasn't me, was it? Did I get one of the legs that quickly?
The firing chamber.
Oh, good.
Looks like a weak point when it's priming.
Turret, the jamming towers have us targeting manually.
Yeah, that wasn't me.
Precision shot.
We may escape before it recovers.
No. Pull over. Shepard, Commander.
Are we going inside the Reaper?
If we run away, the Geth stand under Reaper control and the Quarians are dead. This ends now. EDI, patch the Quarians to the Normandy's weapon system. I want the targeting laser synced up to the whole damn fleet.
Understood.
Do you need assistance?
Just stay down, Legion. I'll take it from here.
Shepard, Commander. Good luck.
Acknowledge.
Are we?
Shepard to fleet. I'll paint the weak spot. Link up with the Normandy and be ready to fire.
The weak spot?
The destroyer is in range. Missiles are ready for launch.
Come on. Oh, did we miss? I think we might have missed. Uh-oh. Yep. Hi. Oh. Apparently I should have run. I tried. The timing on that one was so close, and I bet it's gonna be that way every time. Dusk is not 4. heckity heck. Yeah, it's all about the timing. Reap this. Oh, you plan to. Let me rephrase. Reap that. Oh, you don't look so great. What are you? What were you modeled after? Like, what is your model number? Wait, what? Why is it slow-mo? What in the world is happening? Apparently, it was slow-mo because I was supposed to just target instead of rolling. Fine. Having some troubles there, little buddy. Yeah. Is it dead? Is it time for the end zone dance? Oh, hi.
You know who I am?
Harbinger speaks of you. You resist, but you will fail. The cycle must continue.
I agree, the cycle must continue. You're trying to end it. Help us understand. We'll destroy you eventually, you're arrogant. I'm asking for info. It seems a weird phrasing, though.
What are you talking about? We stopped Sovereign and the Geth. We stopped Harbinger and the Collectors. We've earned a straight answer.
I'd rather a gay answer.
It is not a thing you can comprehend.
We might surprise you.
You represent chaos. We represent order.
I represent chaos.
Every organic
I literally have an emote.
Must be harvested in order to bring order to the chaos. It is inevitable.
You're talking about a decrease in entropy?
Without our intervention, organics are doomed. We are your salvation.
Say what now?
You're killing everyone in the galaxy to save us?
The cycle must continue. There is no alternative.
Organics and synthetics don't have to destroy each other.
The battle for Rannoch disproves your assertion. Finish your war. We will be waiting.
We did it. We killed a Reaper.
A
Keela.
Reaper.
We can confirm that the Geth are no longer being directed by the old machines. We are free.
You did it, Shepard. The Geth fleet has stopped firing. They're completely vulnerable.
Shepard, Commander, the Geth only acted in defense after the Creators attacked. Do we deserve death?
What are you suggesting?
Our upgrades. With the old machine dead, we could upload them to all Geth without sacrificing their independence.
You want to upload the Reaper code? That would make the Geth as smart as when the Reaper was controlling them.
Yes, but with free will, each Geth unit would be a true intelligence. We would be alive, and we could help you.
Our fleet is already attacking. Uploading the code would destroy us. Shepard, you can't choose the Geth over my people.
Do you remember the question that caused the Creators to attack us, Tali'Zorah? Does this unit have a soul?
Oh boy. It's not a hard question from a me perspective. From a me perspective, of course we let them upload the code. From a role-playing as Shepard perspective, though, this is a much harder question. because this galaxy is not they have not had good experiences with artificial intelligences. Artificial intelligences, in their experience, inevitably turn evil and try to kill all organic species. So making an entire army of AI robots, or VI robots, into true individual artificial intelligences, that's a hard one. Counterpoint, Edie, you're not wrong, Mobius. Unless she just hasn't turned evil and tried to kill all of organic life yet. To be fair, more historical data has been made available to you. When was my last save? A little while ago. Definitely, it probably auto-saved right before the fight with the Reaper. She does... Oh, Mobius. Ding. She does want to see humanity on their knees. Maybe just one human, but gosh. I have to take a moment and just consider, because in this galaxy, single individual AIs that have proven themselves have been allowed to operate. Joker, death by snoo snoo, worth it. Yeah, I believe Joker would say that, yes. What makes this extra tricky is it's possible genocide either way. The problem, well, okay, so predisposition of the character to mistrust AI. Counter examples of Edie so far been trustworthy. Legion, for the most part, so far been trustworthy. So, but if we upload the code, so Iron Trout, hi Iron Trout. If you upload the code, then there's a possibility that Tali's people will disengage from the fight. If you don't, the Geth die. But there's also the possibility that if you upload the code, Tali's people don't disengage with the fight. And we're back in the situation that we were in at the start, which was the Geth were willing to leave the Quarians alone until the Quarians came and started attacking the Geth. So if the Quarians don't disengage from the fight, the Geth are going to strike back, and they're going to be a lot stronger doing it. So much simpler when you could just press up, up, down, down, left, right, BA, start. Exactly, Iron Trout. That is where my brain was going as well. If we do it, and the Quarians don't disengage the fight, then the Quarians have chosen their own fate. That's sort of the way I'm leaning. So I just had to stop. Like, my initial impulse was, of course, we're going to upload the code. I just needed to work through it a little bit to make sure that it fit with Shepard. Because if I recall correctly, on the last stream 2 weeks ago, Shepard was ready to, like, have all of the Geth just wiped out entirely. The experience inside the server, seeing the stored recordings of the creation of the Geth and what happened, seeing those, and the way that Legion has been today. Yeah, Shepard has new information. And Mobius, you're right. The Quarians are not innocent in this. I think I've done
Upload the
it.
code to the Geth. Tally, call off the fleet if you can.
Uploading. 10%.
This is Admiral
Quick tally.
Tomisora. All units, break off your attack.
Belay that order. Continue the attack.
20%.
I beg you, do not do this. Please.
We regret the deaths of the creators, but we see no alternative.
I have
40%.
chills everywhere right now. Oh my god. Oh god. Rally the fleet. Warn the fleet. I thought. See, I don't know what any of them mean at this point. Allow the upload, stop Legion.
No. Nobody else dies today. Legion, keep going.
Okay, this is what I wanted.
Shepard?
All ships, this is Commander Shepard.
But the
Reaper
options
is
presented
dead.
to me,
Stand down.
I didn't.
This is Admiral
I wouldn't have
Tomisora.
expected this
Shepard
from
speaks
that
with
option.
My authority.
And mine as well. Negative. We can win this war now. Keep firing.
60%.
The Geth are about to return to full strength. If you keep attacking, they'll wipe you out. Your entire history is you trying to kill the Geth. You forced them to rebel. You forced them to ally with the Reapers.
80%.
Yeah, this is.
The Geth don't want to fight you. If you can believe that for just 1 minute, this war will be over. You have a choice.
This is
Please.
what I wished
Keela Salai.
to do.
All units, hold fire.
I never would have guessed that was what came from clicking
Error.
Rally the
Copy
Fleet.
code is insufficient.
Hi,
Direct
Caden.
personality dissemination required. Shepard Commander.
Really? I have to
must
do a
go
string
to
of
the-
right choices to get that?
I'm sorry. It's the only way.
Legion, the answer to your question was yes.
I know, Tally. But thank you. Keela Salai.
It can go very bad if the wrong choices are made. What the? They killed off another one of our companions?
Commander,
Admiral Ron, I heard your ship made a crash landing. Glad you got out in one piece.
I was listening over
Are
the
they-
radio.
Are they gonna get to go back to their planet?
He did.
We have taken heavy losses. I don't know if we can. Where are we supposed to go?
Okay.
You are welcome to return to Rannoch, Admiral Ron, with us.
Legion?
No, I'm sorry, Commander. Legion sacrificed itself to give us all intelligence. It will be honored.
Good.
And we will honor Legion's promise. The Geth fleet will help you retake Earth, and our engineers will assist in building the Crucible.
As will ours, of course.
Admiral, had you considered possible settlement sites?
The southern continent had excellent farmland, as I recall.
Are you gonna be okay?
I believe so, Commander. Thank you.
Okay, this is everything I wanted for the Quarian storyline.
Shopping for another house?
beachfront property.
Claim it fast. It's a buyer's market.
You're welcome to share if you want, Mobius. I don't mind being spoiled on like my second playthrough.
You okay? I know working with the Geth will be difficult.
I'm not staying. I'm coming with you.
The Quarians would have been... Oh my god! Wow. I'm glad that didn't happen.
I wasn't going to ask.
I think you've earned a few favors with the fleet.
I'm asking them to launch an assault on the Reapers. Figure that makes us even.
If the Reapers were going to stay on Earth, sure. But sooner or later, they'll come to Rannoch.
We did just kill one of them.
So I'm coming with you to stop them. If you think I can help.
Tali is my bestie! She's gonna come help! Would have been what happened if you didn't make a series of right decisions. Zen, I'm gonna have to... I'll forget, but I won't do it right now because I don't want to spoil anything for myself. I would love to know like how complex that decision tree is. I can't go and look for it. Hi, Kaden. The second game, some of your choices really mattered for it. Attention, all hands, a solid-state memory service for Legion unit will be held in 10 minutes. This vessel will dock at that time for services on the promenade. Stand by for disembarkation. Okay.
You sure about this?
Yeah. I look at all this. This picture of hope and peace.
We're not having internet issues,
and
are we?
All I see is everyone I've lost. My team on Haestrom, my father, even Legion. I'm mourning a Geth. How crazy is that?
It's not crazy at all.
It is beautiful, though.
Okay.
Isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
It'll be years before we can live without our suits completely. But right now... right now...
What?
I have this.
And they still didn't show us!
Commander Shepard, I understand you've helped resolve the situation with the Geth.
Yes, Counselor. 2, in fact.
I've read the reports. You ended a war 3 centuries in the making.
I had a lot of help.
We have isolated pockets of remaining Geth. As best we can tell, they are Geth bodies loaded with Reaper code. But they are just a tiny fragment of the full Geth fleet. You've done the impossible, Commander. And I may be able to provide help of my own. I've received information from my government. It's too sensitive to discuss over an unsecured channel.
What if I come to the Citadel?
Yes, that would be best, Commander. I'll be waiting for you in Counselor Udina's office.
It's a trap, isn't it? I don't know why.
Admiral Hackett's available on VidCom.
I feel like that's a trap. This is one of your top 5 moments in the series. Wow. I think we leave it there. And come back in a week. Yeah, I think I have a lot of people to talk to. Because journals, we have a new priority mission at the Citadel. We've got codex entries. We've got experience points. We've got, I think up there with Tachanka. Tachanka was also really good. Oh my god. Tachanka and oh god, where'd his name go? I just have Gilbert and Sullivan playing in my head. Mordin. Yeah, Mordin Solis's end. The end of that story. That was a lot. This was also a lot. And Zen, yes, but also no, because Legion did die. According to the Prime that showed up, Legion sacrificed himself. He does not exist as an independent intelligence anymore. So Legion died so that all the other Geth could be free and have full intelligence. So still sort of there, but also gone because doesn't exist as an independent intelligence anymore. We keep losing former companion. But both of those stories ended with acts of extreme heroism. Lots of bravery. Okay, I'm gonna so glad I didn't. I am too, Mobius. This is everything I ever wanted from the Quarian story. I'm gonna put us on the credits scene because that's where we're gonna leave off for this week. I guess next week we pick it back up, and I'm not even certain. I don't know what missions are coming up. I don't know what we're going to do next week. We'll talk to the people in the aftermath of the Quarian story. And then there are definitely some side quests to do. We definitely still have a DLC, but I'm not sure we're quite there yet. We'll look at the missions and figure it out. As soon as you saw where I was, you were concerned. I didn't know. Because this is the first time I have played the trilogy. And people have been good about the no spoilers thing, so it wasn't until after when you all told me that it could have gone really, 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 really bad. I haven't been thinking about that as I made the decisions throughout playing the game. So you were trying to keep track of the choices, but it was, I mean, it's been probably at least 3/4 of a year since that decision tree was initiated. So if you try to be pure Paragon, it turns out all right. But I'm not. I haven't been. My Shepard is primarily Paragon, but all the companion quests in Mass Effect 2, we went almost exclusively Renegade. And throughout, it's been sort of the theme of like, we go Renegade for our friends. So, yeah. Wow. Okay. Let me see who's on. It's Sunday, and so it's somewhat variable. And mute this so it doesn't make a noise. Come on. Oh. Oh. Huh? I think I am unfamiliar with Trombone Champ, but that is the game currently being played by Linoleum Bob. And we're going to say hi to Linoleum Bob because it is their birthday today. So we're going to head on over to Linoleum Bob. I'll be back tomorrow at 7 Eastern, 7 p.m. Eastern, for... Hang on, I need to type. I'll be back at 7 p.m. Eastern tomorrow to continue with Mass Effect. The number 3 put me on. Wow, it also starts with an M, and it's the third one. To continue with Myst 3. And yeah, we're gonna do Myst 3. Let me say, oh, sorry. Thank you, Lord Portico, for the 1,000 bits. Thank you to the mods. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Raid call is in the chat if you want to copy and paste it. If you have my emotes, you can just copy paste. Otherwise, it's hashtag Rogue Raid and just whatever, wonderful hello emotes you want to throw in there. Hi, Kaden. Thanks for the raid. I thought you were already in chat, but also thank you. So yeah, we're gonna head on over to the Linoleum Bob. Wish a happy birthday to them when you get over there. Thank you all for joining me. I hope I see you again soon. Tomorrow night, I'll be back at 7 p.m. Eastern to play Myst 3 before we raid into the final episode of Streampunks for 2022. Archives on Wednesday. I've got a guest joining me on stream to look at some baking stuff. Next Saturday, Ultima 6. Next Sunday, we'll come back and pick up right here with Mass Effect 3. Thank you so much for being here. Until I see you again, get out there and do some shenanigans.